Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. In this episode, I want to show you how I created this kind of like a curve and instance of cylinders along path, and they are actually kind of looping. So this creations was made possible after I watched this tutorial by Erindale, looping around a spline. This tutorial, or actually movement along the spline as well. This is from his course Geometry Notes for Blender 3.3, and I highly recommend it. So I will try to recreate the setup, but I think for the full explanations, it's best to do to enroll in his course. So I'll start to recreate the whole thing from scratch. So this is spline loop instance. So we want to like loop instance along the path. In order to do that, we want to start from curve objects, and we're gonna combine it with geometry nodes. So by default, the spline is looking like this. Go to edit mode. I'm gonna select all and delete everything. I'm gonna draw a bunch of curve. You can also just create a circle if you want to have like a circle. So we're gonna loop a cylinder or anything along the path. So yeah, let's go inside geometry nodes. First of all, the thing that we already know, we can resample the curve. So that's pretty simple. This is how many points we want to resample it into, but we're gonna use length, okay, because it's a little bit cleaner like that. It's gonna resample based on the length of the curve, and we know we have instance on points, and we can instance things like cylinder, and yeah, and then we can maybe turn off the end gun for now. Actually, just turn off the top part. I'm just gonna change the radius of the cylinder. So this type of design, there's actually a Japanese architect named Shigeru Ban, and he works with paper to create his architectural works, and this is kind of my inspiration. It's kind of I like this kind of design. It's kind of unique. So yeah, we created like a wall made of cylinder or something, maybe that like a paper roll. Okay, so that's cool, but how did we get the looping? In order to loop it and in order to make it believable, I want to randomize the cylinder as well. So let's take advantage of the I think we need to actually use the instance index, and we might need to use pick instance and selection. I hardly use that in my video tutorial. Okay, sorry about the noise, but yeah, let's try maybe scale the instance. So scale instance. I believe this is how we can do it. Either using the scale there or over here. If we use like a random value. Oh, okay, maybe we don't need scale instance for now. So this node instance on points will handle everything. So we have random cylinder along path, but how do we kind of offset the cylinder? So, oh, by the way, if you want to use the pick instance, you can actually use geometry to instance over here. So if you want to have like multiple objects, a little bit like this. So by default, it's gonna pick the cylinder and the icosphere, and just gonna repeat. But I think I just want to show it to you because we want to be able to offset the instance now. In order to do that, we need to offset the index. Okay, so what's happening, let me summarize what's going on. We have curve, we started with a curve, and then we resample the curve, so we have it's turned into points that we can instance, and then we use the index of the points, and we can now offset it. So we can we can offset it using a number, or in this case, let's use time, scene time, and then let's use the frame. It seems to be doing the offset now. It's a little bit fast, but we probably want to plug this into the ID as well. So now I believe it's offsetting the value. Let me change this. Yeah, I think it needs to be integer. So index being offset by frame. I think we are already where we have we're supposed to be. Oh, let me. Oh, okay. A little bit. Something's a little bit wrong. Let me double check. What if we just instead of using pick instance, maybe we just plug in the cylinder. It's being randomized per seed. That's not the right way. Let me check my setup. So in my setup, index scenes, and we have offset. This plug into the instance index, and we have pick instance. So apparently I'm actually scaling it here. So I'm using the scale instance. So let's get back to where we have before. So these will randomize the original instance, but what we really want is to scale instance. So this is actually quite important. We keep this one, but this value will go into the scale instead. So the ID can comes into the random value like this. Okay, so I think it's getting there. Yeah, let's go to go back to the top view, select the curve, go to edit mode, delete everything, and we can write something. Aloha. Yeah, or yeah, just make like a random curve. We can draw anything. So we have this kind of things happening. It's a so we have random value that's being generated by this ID and index, and then it's being offset along the path. So it's repeating, and it's yeah, I think it's looking kind of nice. And because this is a cylinder, we can actually solidify it as well if we realize the instance. So we have some kind of thickness, if that's what you want. It's more like yeah, Shigeru Ban architects. And if you want to put this cylinder on the floor, the trick is to use bounding box. So get the bounding box of cylinder, minimum, maximum, and then just offset this guy based on the maximum, plug into the translation, but we just want to offset it in the z-axis. Okay, now it's, yeah, it puts the cylinder on the floor, and then it's it's instance it on the path, and then we have it looping. So if you do the Erindale tutorial, if you actually purchase the course, he also explained it that you can use selections and pick instance to animate birds along the path. I think I haven't watched the whole tutorial, but if you try random value, plug this into selections, you can see the looping is still kind of happening, just with less probability. So it's only selecting the points. It's still doing the looping, I believe, but you have a kind of gap, so it's a little bit more natural like this, less orderly, but still kind of nice. So you play around with that, but you can also use instance. I believe this can go there. Yeah, it's still doing the loop. So in our case, just use the cylinder, turn off pick instance. So this guy is putting things on the floor. So yeah, that's basically what I want to show you. That's hopefully you learned something. So instance on points actually have like a loopable ability underneath if you use it with index and offset it with time. All right, so yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.